We're continuing on with the translation exercises from Chapter 10 of the Fuller and Choi textbook. These are found on page 59. We're going to look at number 6 and number 8. So we'll begin with number 6. Halach Shaul ha'ira v'lo radaf acharei David. Ki shalach Shemuel hanavi et David el ha'pilishtim. Okay, so we have halach is our third masculine singular perfect from the root halak, means to go or to walk. And Shaul then is the proper name, Saul. So Saul went ha'ira. Notice the atnach also tells us that the accent is on the second syllable here, ha'ira. The hay here is called by the textbook an accusative hay, although it has nothing to do with the accusative case. Other grammars would call it a directive hay or a directional hay. I tend to call it a directional hay because it actually indicates a direction. In this case, ha'ira would be to the city. So we have ha'ir, the city, and then ha'ira, to the city. And when the directional hay is put on, it does not take the accent. So the accent is on the previous syllable. So Saul went to the city, v'lo radaf acharei David. And then we have our zakef katon here. We have another pause. And he did not pursue. Radaf is the verb for pursue. And again we have a perfect third masculine singular. And he did not pursue acharei, after David. Continuing on, ki shalach Shemuel hanavi. So for, or because, that's ki. Shalach is a common verb. It means to send. And we have Shemuel, that's Samuel. And that matches, masculine singular matches our third masculine singular verb. Samuel sent. And then we have hanavi. And we have to figure out what's going on here. Hanavi is also a noun. And so we have a noun in Samuel followed by a noun. So we need to ask the question, is this a direct object? Well, for a couple of reasons it's not a direct object. Number one, it is a definite noun, has a definite article, and yet there is no direct object marker. There's no et here. And so that's one reason why this is not a direct object. Normally in narrative you will always see a direct object marker with a definite noun. In poetry you might not, but in narrative kinds of contexts you will always see the direct object marker with a definite noun. And secondly, we come over here and we see that there's a direct object marker with David. And so we have a direct object. This means that hanavi is not a direct object. What it is doing here is it's describing Samuel. So we have Samuel, the prophet, sent. David, et David, here's the direct object now. El ha'pilishtim, to, and then this is a what we call a gentilic, meaning it's a name of a people group. The Philistines. Notice the im ending. That is your masculine plural ending. And so it would be the Philistines, plural. So let's take a look at this entire sentence. Saul went to the city, and he did not pursue after David, because Samuel the prophet sent David to the Philistines. Now, in reality, this never happened. The Bible has no record of Samuel ever sending David to the Philistines. David went to the Philistines, but Samuel didn't send him. But it's a learning tool, even though it's not historically accurate. Let's look at number 8. Amar David tov hadavar asher diberu haniviim hakadoshim. So Amar David, David said, and then we'll put our quotation marks here. This is what he said. Tov hadavar asher, etc. Let's take a look at this pair first. We have a adjective followed by a noun, and notice that the adjective here is indefinite, tov, and the noun here is definite. It has a definite article, hadavar. When you have an adjective next to a noun, one is indefinite, one is definite, that is a really good indicator that you're looking at an adjective being used predicatively. And so we would say, good is the word. We supply a to be verb here. Good is the word, asher, which, and now we have, I think, our first example of a third common plural perfect. We've seen third masculine singulars. Now we're going to see a third common plural. That means it serves for both feminine and masculine in the perfects in the third plural category. And the shuruk on the end is the ending that is used for perfect third common plural. Dibaru, and we know that davar as a verb is to speak, so we're looking for a plural subject to see if one is there explicitly. And here we have hanaviim, and so we have the masculine plural ending here on hanavi, which is the prophet, and so we have the prophets, and masculine plural matches the plural of the verb, so we have the prophets spoke, and then we have an adjective here that potentially relates back to hanaviim, and we would expect it to actually, because just the way the sentence is structured, but we need to make sure that everything matches, and so we have hanaviim is masculine plural and definite because of its definite article, and then kadoshim is also masculine plural, notice the im ending, and there's a definite article, so it's also definite. So this is an attributive adjective. We have holy prophets, so holy prophets spoke. So let's look at the entire sentence. David said, good is the word, or the word is good, which the holy prophets spoke. That's number 8.